Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So first off, we are going to be starting with the overall price chart for QNT as it has been breaking out a little bit. We recently just live streamed and done a whole bunch of videos on XRP. At the moment in time that I am recording this, yes, QNT is breaking out, but time can change everything. So by the time that this video actually goes live, the price action on QNT might change. Just to give you guys a quick insight on that, but what I want to focus on here is volume and things. I will be going in depth on the chart by the end of this video, so definitely stay around until the end. You will not be disappointed. But I'm definitely looking at the price action on QNT very, very closely right now, seeing if we can hit some nice major targets. We will definitely talk about that. The overall holders tab has kind of slowed down a little bit. We only added about 20 or so in one singular day. I think that is about to change. But ultimately, yeah, this market has been going absolutely crazy around the altcoin market on the 7-day span. You definitely can see it on some of these assets, up over double-digit figures, and even XDC is starting to have a little bit of a ride as well. It is very exciting, to say the least, to see some of these major assets kind of jumping out and doing some nice little moves. But right now, I am focused on a few things. One, I'm focused on the supply of QNT. Now, again, like these metrics, are a little bit confusing. I will say that. But we definitely are watching to see what's going to happen once this does kind of hit zero. Will anything happen? Who knows? But this is the percentage on exchanges. It is 1.16%, and this is the newest low since going all the way back to the inception of this chart. Now, again, when we look at these metrics, is this very important? It's hard to say. We don't really have a price correlation to this just yet. But I thought that was interesting to mention, and we do see like a supply shock is coming. We don't know if a supply shock will be happening, but one thing is for sure. That's the fact that when we look at QNT comparing it to Bitcoin, the network effects on QNT are going to be monumental compared to what Bitcoin has ever experienced. And a lot of people think that I'm crazy for, making statements like that, but go look at the overall, fundamental utility that Quant possesses compared to Bitcoin. It is a night and day difference with 33% less supply. QNT is an absolute monster in the making. And we also do see over here from Data Metrics UG, we do see how much money would you have today if you had invested $1,000 in Quant Network 4 years ago? Your investment today would have had a value of 60.6K, a 5,963% move. Now, a lot of people will look at this and say, okay, yeah, I'm too late to this investment. I'm not even looking at this investment at all. The biggest problem here is the fact that a lot of people will get caught up in the nonsense of thinking that the price actually matters. Listen, look at the adoption cycle of crypto. What I'm actually focused on with Quant is the day where it is 100% needed. Now that might confuse a lot of people, because it is 100% needed right now. But again, crypto is not that big. It's not big enough for, major connections to be made between the legacy platforms and crypto just yet. But we are getting there. Remember my video from about a week ago, right? Where I was talking to you guys about the first billion users around crypto. Pretty easily, achievable. But the next 1 billion will 100% rely on interoperability between the legacy and the crypto systems. This is what I am paying attention to, is the adoption cycle behind DLT and crypto. And also, Pay attention to the major events happening around Quant, the conferences. I've been talking to you guys about why building a community is pivotal for the success of a lot of these tokens, and Quant is no different. Shout out to Quantany on Twitter for this, but we do see Quant is invited to Cebos again, the biggest financial global conference organized by Swift. Also, Quant CEO has been invited by Arthur Recorded to speak at Cordacon alongside Six Digital Exchange. Q&T is the biggest blue chip in crypto. Now, what I actually want to talk to you guys about with this is the event Cordacon 2022. We recently did talk about this in a video, but what I want to talk to you guys about is the idea behind this. So first off, it is being held in London. Why is this pivotal? Remember what I've just recently talked to you guys about with the United Kingdom. They're 100% ready to utilize crypto at full scale, and they do want to be a tech hub for crypto. But we do see R3's flagship conference is back, and it is in person. There is over 1,000 plus financial service leaders that will be, basically at this meeting or at this conference talking about the technological advancements within the DeFi and CeFi space, and also just the traditional financial market as well. There's going to be a lot of discussions around this. You actually do see a few. First off, they're going to be seeing an in-depth look at business use cases and emerging trends in the modernization of financial services. Then we do see other ones as well around accelerators and SDKs. And I think that that's all they really have here in regards to what's going to be talked about on day 1 and day 2. But we do see the countdown is in almost 3 days exact. I'm very excited for this. I think that everyone should definitely be tuning in. What I'm very excited about as well is the major speakers at this. If you actually look at Cordacon and you look at some of the major speakers, you do see some giants. So obviously R3 is a huge blockchain initiative, but you also look at Contour. Contour is a huge one. Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, ANZ Banking Group. There's so many, major names that are already really kind of part of this, and you do see Six here as well. You do see even the CFTC, which they have been really kind of moving in on becoming a regulatory giant around crypto. You do see Vodafone. There is so many names tied to this, even the BIS, which is insane, but it is something special. So definitely pay attention to this, and you can definitely look at some of the major sponsors as well. Capgemini and Accenture are always usually the major ties here. And then there's a few other ones. And you can actually see the agenda that they will be really kind of discussing. And it's all kind of centered around the major move in regards to the financial system and the disruption of this infrastructure, which to me, has always been the major focus. But we also do see revolutionizing trade finance, interoperability, which by the way, this is the big one. Interoperability, the industry case for investment. Interoperability is always going to be the focus point, and I definitely think that it's going to come up quite a bit in discussion at this conference. Pay attention to it. Also, over here we do see from Son and L11, he's saying July 2022 study, $16 trillion in assets will be tokenized in 2030. Study Accenture, VMware, and ISA. And what do you think they found after surveying 148 financial services? Most of these assets will be tokenized on private/permission chains. Q&T newly developed no-code interoperable digital asset based on patent multi-ledger token innovation will be at the forefront of tokenization by running on all private and public DLTs. Educate yourself in thread. No problem. Hope that was helpful and clear. Great to hear the community's feedback that the use of technology we've developed to really take blockchain mainstream. The latest and newest release of Tokenize is a game changer for institutions, and developers and ordinary users. Anyone can create interoperable digital assets with a few clicks. Even a CEO can do it. Then down here we do see a little bit of the use of DLT in. And this is the IMF and KPMG. We will take a look at that in a second, but we do see down here, here's the link to the study as well. But this is the big one. So IMF and KPMG concluding 2022 that institutions are mainly going for permission networks, Corda, Hyperledger, etc. Time to be red-pilled. Research by the IMF confirms that only permission networks are suitable. And then we do see a little bit of the public research shows this, and here are the major institutional blockchains. And then we do see Hyperledger, Forbes, blockchain technologies for business. Half of the Forbes blockchain 50 companies use Hyperledger. You do see all of the major names down here, as you guys do see. Number 2, Gartner, which here you have number 2 as well. Number 3, Deloitte. You see again a little bit of a discussion around Deloitte. And then number 4, well, Quarter Private is used 90% of banks. We actually talked about this video in the past, but just for you guys that are new, we'll listen closely. It's about a 9-second long video.
Fargo and MasterCard and NASDAQ. So, as I mentioned, about 90% of the banking sector leverages Quarter. So this is a huge use case. Fargo.
And yeah, I mean, R3 Corda, or Corda, if you will, is a huge giant. That's why I say like Cordacon is also a big one. And then down here, all BIS CBDC trials on private DLTs. Here you guys have the DLTs. These are all private. And you could also see like type of CBDCs and stuff like that. Number 6, in the biggest blockchain consortiums from lots and lots of Fortune 500, all on private DLTs. Not even one crypto blockchain here. Here you guys have all of the major ones as well. And that's why I say like Contour is a huge giant, because Contour is a massive giant around the space. But Anons are still advocating that public blockchain is the future / majority. Nope, it's not. Permission interoperability is the hardest to solve, which QNT does best, and 99% of crypto can't even do. We actually do see that highlighted here if you guys do want to read it. I don't feel the need that I have to, because it's really kind of just solidifying that. I read over this and skimmed it. I think that this entire discussion here should be read as well if you want to really kind of understand interoperability between these major key giants. And then over here we do see a little bit more of a discussion on this around the toughest form of interoperability, which is again around the permission interoperability area. It connects Hyperledger on many huge scale initiatives, SIA chain, Latin American dollar, and then of course Oracle blockchain platform. And then down here, and also Corda, Spunta, 580 Corda Bank nodes, MEXC, SDX, Contour, Mobi, Marco Polo, ICICI, and we know about 5% what's actually happening in enterprise. Place your bets on where the world is building on coming in 5 years. And summary of private DLTs. Use cases are bigger by more participants, by bigger institutions. They have existing workflows. They put on private DLTs, workflows that took them decades to build, all blue chips. They have the money and the manpower to make it, a success. Now, a lot of people might be asking, okay, well, how do I invest in these private DLTs? You really don't. A lot of them are not public. You can't buy any of them. That's why I've always said that QNT is the biggest hedge in this market, because it is a token that is connecting all of it. So instead of you going out and investing into every single one of these private, DLTs or private permission or even permissionless, DLTs, guess what? You are choosing the one that will connect it all anyways. It's essentially a domino effect. You investing into QNT is essentially investing into all of these other tokens and DLTs if they did have a token that you could invest into. This is why I do think that QNT is the biggest hedge as a long-term asset in the space. But with that being said, let's go and quickly skim the chart for QNT. I might be doing a live stream on this tomorrow, but we do see where we are nearing major resistance at. That is going to be the pivotal moment in time to see what is going to happen next. And there is a few other levels here, like 135 and then like 150. There's quite a bit of a path here for QNT to make up. I'm very excited about it. I just recently told you guys that I was buying QNT. I bought like over 10 on Twitter at $100. We recently came down and tested that 103 level, which is almost the major support zone going all the way back to February of 2022. It was a perfect area to really kind of average in, which I've told you guys to, really kind of average in when you can see it. I know that we recently were starting to look and see if we are going to have a downtrend. If anything, this downtrend will happen once we get a triple tap top and we have a downtrend where we do kind of come down and settle on some nice levels. To me, I think that we could come down as far as like $70 to retest that major demand zone going all the way back to July of 2021. But we definitely have to watch the price action to really kind of make sure that that could happen. Volume is still diminished here as we are continuing to climb a little bit here. RSI looks pretty good. This is all on the weekly, by the way. On the daily, you can kind of see the nice volume here, but it's still diminished volume. Ultimately, RSI is nearing overbought levels, so we are kind of eyeing the chart closely for QT. We also have been looking at the Bitcoin price chart for QT, and this looks extremely bullish because it is making a local high, but it is also hitting an RSI level of overbought while the volume is still diminished. So please just be aware of that before FOMOing in. I never FOMO into any token, no matter what it is, including QT. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.